and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here at EBAday 2018 in Munich. Joining me now is Michèle Zaquine from HSBC and we're going to be discussing cross-border payments. Michèle, how are you?
I'm great and really happy to be here.
Yes, it's a fantastic event. Now, can you tell me what impact do you think SWIFT GPI is having on cross-border payments and how is HSBC involved?
So I think SWIFT Global Payments Innovation Initiative is probably one of the largest changes since the past decades, and it's going to considerably improve customer experience on cross-border payments. Previously, and I guess in legacy correspondent banking, there was a lack of transparency, there was a lack of certainty of payment, a lot of time spent in finding out where your payment had got lost, fees that were taken, you didn't know why, and remittance information that wasn't necessarily there for the beneficiary. What SWIFT GPI does, it responds to all those needs. It puts in speed, it puts end-to-end tracking, notably with the new field, the unique end-to-end transaction reference identifier. So that is incredible because it moves end-to-end. And then probably the fact that the beneficiary will be informed when the credit hits his account is equally a very good result that we can get from SWIFT GPI. So I think from that point of view, it's a great change. Now what we're doing, we're completely embracing SWIFT GPI. We didn't come in soon at the beginning, but we've come in strongly and we're deploying quite actively. And by the end of this quarter, we will have covered some of the HSBC's major sites and probably most of our SWIFT, or a good part of our SWIFT flows. So we're already getting feedback from customers who find that investigation of transactions is going much faster, and therefore customer experience with the bank is great.
All right, and from a payments perspective, how is the European payments landscape changing? What developments do you see now and in the future?
So the European payments landscape is just bubbling with change. It's extremely dynamic, fast-paced. Regulation is driving a lot of changes, as we know. Just to call out a few, we've got PSD2, obviously. We've got Brexit, GDPR, but equally in the UK, you have the ring-fenced bank, check imaging. So a lot of regulation, a lot going on that front. But equally, we have new payment schemes like SET Inst, and that as well is going to bring a lot of change in the European landscape. But we also have in the UK the new payments infrastructure. So what does this show? Is that, as always, Europe is an environment where there's a lot of change, and therefore opportunities and propositions that will come out of all of this regulatory change and schemes. Now, just to look at PSD2 very quickly, what this will do is bring innovation, it will bring competitiveness, but also efficiency. So because of these new actors coming in, as we know, the third-party providers, whether it's the aggregators, consuming data, organizing, creating standards around that, or it's payment initiation, a lot of propositions are going to come across in this landscape. So I think it's a very exciting time for Europe, but it's also an exciting time for the banks. Because of this change, we're very close to our customers. We need to explain what it means to them, what they need to know, what they need to do, and probably what they can ignore. So a lot of exchange, a lot of meetings with customers, and again, I think Europe, as always, is at the forefront of many changes.
Mm-hmm. And following on from that quite nicely then, what do you think is front of mind for your clients? What's keeping them up at night?
Oh wow, so many things, but maybe just to call out a few. First of all, we have to start off by remembering that customer behavior or experience is the foundation. So what do customers want? They want bank agnostic solutions, they want interoperability, they are joining ecosystems more freely than before, but they also want frictionless customer journeys. They want to be in control. So therefore, they want notifications, they want alerts. They want to be able to make the decisions when they feel they should be making the decisions, right? And they're looking for transparency. So when you move this consumer requirements into the corporate space, because that naturally is what happens, we can see that this is going to drive a lot of change and support what's happening in another trend that I see very strongly, is innovation in fintech that is very, very strong in the European landscape today. Technology now has become an enabler. APIs, everyone's talking about APIs, open banking, but again, there's a strong drive towards that in Europe because of PSD2, but also because of the open banking initiative in the UK. So I think from that point of view, technology is going to provide a lot of solutions, and customers are expecting that that's going to help automate and integrate data for them, right? But we're also getting questions around, so what do I do with this data? How do I monetize it? What do I get out of it? Very interesting discussions with our customers to understand for them what it means, and how I would move on to the next trend, which is cybersecurity and fraud, and we're talking about it today at EBA, and it's so true. It's high on the agenda of treasurers. But I guess when they look at innovation, they look at how artificial intelligence is going to help them. And I'd like to finish off with treasury optimization, because there's nothing new. We've been talking about that for years, and yet it is so important still today to optimize treasury and to find tools. And again, on that front, we're moving into real times with real-time payment infrastructures, but expectations again from customers that this will change, that there will be in more of a real-time logic, and there will be a lot of tools, be it from a liquidity point of view, where HSBC is looking to deploy tools on that front, on a management portal, but equally virtual accounts. So I think it's a very interesting time for those customers, where their expectation is that we will find solutions for them. And I would say on this that HSBC is monitoring, from an innovation point of view, artificial intelligence, big data, distributed ledger technology. We have something like 27 proof of concepts ongoing right now. What else? Mobile collections, of course, where we've been one of the first banks in India to actually put into place an API mobile collection solution.
Well, it's certainly an exciting space to be looking out for. Michèle, this has been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.